more specific subset. And the part that might seem slightly bonkers from today's perspective is that when you had a headlight go out, you would go to the auto parts store and obtain an entire headlight. That's right, for all intents and purposes, this is the bulb. In fact, it's not exactly. Look through the front glass at the right angle and you'll see a halogen bulb just chilling at the base of the reflector. But there's no way to replace just that. When it burns out, this entire thing gets tossed. This lamp is sold today in 12-volt versions as H6024. The headlight has 3 pins on its electrical connector because there are 2 filaments, one for the low or dip beam and the other for the high beam. This is the driving or main. Although they are very close to each other, their position near the focal point of the parabolic reflector results in a very different beam pattern depending on which filament is lit. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so headlights used to be these big glass things, and they had a combined high and low beam function. Whoop-de-doo. But you see, this wasn't just a headlight. This was the headlight. For 17 years, every car sold was required to have 2 of these things. And in the US, we wouldn't give up the idea of sealed beam headlights until the 1984 model year. Today, this might sound absurd, and 1984 was ridiculously late. Our federal motor vehicle safety standards have a long tradition of being decades behind the rest of the world, at least when it comes to lighting requirements. I mean, we still allow red turn signals in the rear. Somebody ought to make a video about how silly that is. But this wasn't entirely a bad idea. And in fact, as the years have gone on, this has proven to have some unexpected advantages. You might ask, why'd we do this in the first place? Well, let's rewind to the 1930s. These automobile things are starting to get pretty popular, and with every manufacturer following their own inner light when it came to marketing gimmicks and also just finding suppliers for things, an ungodly mishmash of lighting equipment was out there. Sure, we had settled on electric lights at this point, and most manufacturers had even figured out the whole dipped beam and driving. But with no established standard, well, good luck going on a road trip and finding a spare bulb outside a Schenectady. Setting aside the challenge of finding spares, there's also the issue of headlight performance. Headlights are not only critical for the driver of a car to see at night, but they can also present a hazard to other drivers. If they're too bright or aren't aimed correctly, in the eyes of another driver, they can become the wrong kind of dazzling. There's a fine line here, and although not everybody would agree on where exactly that line was, and that's definitely still true today, with enough experimentation and a dash of compromise, a standard performance benchmark was established. Ideally, every car would have headlights that performed to that standard. Now, if only there were a way we could force all cars to have lighting equipment which performed to that... Oh wait, that's exactly what it is. Every vehicle sold from 1940 until 1957, no matter if it was a Buick, a Volkswagen, a Plymouth, or a Studebaker, needed to accommodate and be equipped with 2 of these things. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is the headlight. You might find some fancy extra lights from time to time, maybe fog lamps or even a wacky steerable lamp, but the basic lighting equipment was always the same 2 headlamps. Of course, there were many manufacturers.
There were steerable headlights.
Some were probably a little bit better than others.
Take it easy.
But the design and specifications were codified to the point that no matter what you drove, your headlights would perform similarly to everyone else's. And no matter where you were, every service
Here comes the catch.
had spares for your car.
The fuse is
There was
lit.
only one thing it could be, and it was this. Sealed beam headlamps don't just for standardization. In fact, the name is important and explains why we would just toss the whole thing before it's out. A lamp like this has a metal reflector to focus the filament's light. One of the problems with metal is oxidation. Before the sealed beam, reflectors and headlights with replaceable bulbs would tarnish or even rust with time, greatly diminishing their effectiveness. Sealing the reflector inside an evacuated glass envelope meant it wouldn't tarnish, and even if it somehow did, just replace it. And a huge advantage of codifying this as the one and only allowed headlight was that all a new car needed to accommodate it was the right size hole in its bodywork and matching electrical connector. To secure the headlight, you use a locking ring would surround the engine and clamp it to a receiver
Gotcha.
basket. The basket can be adjusted.
Animal Test 63 time for a light show.
Horizontal. These nubs on the face of the headlight were used for protection and special tools which would rest on them. You could determine whether the headlights were level and pointing dead ahead. If they were, then you knew they were aimed correctly. No need to wait until dark to be sure. Frankly, this was a pretty well thought out idea. Compliance with the standard is pretty easy to assure when the standard is basically just a weirdly particular light bulb. And automakers didn't have to do any sort of testing or certification of their headlights on new cars because, I say again, this was a headlight. They just needed a hole for it. Okay, well, 2. Slap one of those aiming contraptions on the front of the car, set the screws accordingly, and that there automobile is certifiably road legal. After the tail lights and other signal lights were certified, probably some other stuff to do too, but the headlights? That work's already done. Eventually, people, by which I mean automotive executives, grew bored of this single headlight option, clamoring for a new selling point. Automakers would eventually convince regulators of the magic of having 2 of them per side. New arrangement of 2 slightly smaller lamps, one a dual filament lamp, more or less like this one, and another with a single high-intensity filament for extra bright high beams. It's approved for use.
Oh, hello, you.
And suddenly, service shops and parts stores needed to stock 3 different headlights. Wait, no, older cars had 6-volt electrical systems. How to keep spares for those too? Imagine the contemporary curmudgeon's cacophonous complaints. But we wouldn't stop there. In the 70s, nothing said the future quite like rectangles, so rectangular versions of those 2 schemes were approved. A single large rectangular lamp could be used per side, or the same quad lamps was also allowed, but rectangles. In fact, we wouldn't even stop there. My cursory glance at this here website
Wait,
didn't fail me.
I could have sworn I picked a different option.
To keep track of.
It's always here. It doesn't matter
For the most part,
what option I
most people in
pick.
1975 had 1 of 4 headlight filters. It was either these big singles, round or square, or one of the 2 quad setups. Again, your choice, round or square. However, virtually all models switched to rectangular headlights as soon as that was permitted, not only because it met the fashions of the day, but their smaller size.
The mission Yoimi is actually really good at.
But now you know why old cars all have the same headlights. They have
Fire hazard!
and that's also why headlight covers and pop-up designs started spreading. If you had to have the same glass on the front of your car as everyone else, you can style it you needed some sort of the last major change that would occur would be the approval of halogen lamps. That's right, this is actually an upgrade from the original specification. Before 1979, these things really were just a standardized, oddly shaped light bulb with a couple of tungsten filaments just hanging out just the right places. If 1979 sounds weirdly late for the innovation of halogen lights, it's because it was. Things happening weird late is kind of a running federal motor vehicle safety standards. Video cassette recorders were in the market before halogen headlights were approved here. By the way, we don't really need to get into it, but the point of a halogen light is that by enclosing a tungsten filament in a small envelope filled with inert gas and a bit of iodine or maybe bromine, those elements made up halogens, the filament can be run much hotter as the halogen molecules floating around in the hot gas will essentially capture little bits of the filament that might have sputtered off, which usually causes the filament to thin and the glass of the light bulb to darken. And it'll just slap it
Humidity
back
levels
on.
are increasing. Think we can run some tests?
The upshot is they can create a brighter and brighter light with ordinary lights, and they also don't use brightness as the just at some point. Europe got to have halogen headlights in 1962.
Only innocent children and timid adults are scared of thunder.
Now,
But you're not either of those, are you?
How long did that hold? Too long. Requiring them until 1984 was frankly embarrassing. And to make matters worse, the limits on their use.
Crisis of shields while it's raining.
Things are about to get dicey.
Swirl, Mark II! The fuse is lit! That didn't count!
We didn't allow that. As a matter of fact, we used to. But in 1968, it was decided, nope, these have to be completely unobstructed when we use. That, combined with the fact that the rest of the world was moving away from these, meant that there was a rather awkward period where imported cars had, let's just call it, suboptimal fixes. Styling consequences aside, though, it wasn't all bad. The same fundamental benefit was still there. Sure, maybe Toyotas got a different headlight on their Corollas sold in Japan, but to make it road legal in the US, you didn't have to design a new headlight. You just needed to put the right socket in place and try their best with bezels to make it look less goofy. Eventually, though, regulators would finally see
The
the
sun
light
is already
and
out?
allow automakers to
Oh,
have their fun and
okay.
design sculpted
Just one last
headlights.
experiment, and then we can get some rest.
Granting Ford
Last one,
permission in the summer
I
of
promise.
83, the 1984 Lincoln Continental Mark VII became the first U.S. market car with custom composite headlights. In the coming years, most other cars would quickly follow suit, and the sealed beam headlamp was relegated to base model trucks and vans, commercial vehicles. Of course, today, headlights have gone from a thing you just have to have to a full-on statement piece in car design, with brands having particular fun with their daytime running light signatures. And some brands, Hyundai, are even bringing things full circle, or should I say square, with very retro-inspired quad lights. Right, this was a huge draw for me. And I mean, they're also the front turn signals. How could I resist? And it's not just styling that's better these days. High-intensity discharge and LED technologies allow for much better nighttime visibility for drastically improvements. We've had some issues with glare as those technologies roll out. Regulations here are frightfully lenient on that front. Glad organizations like the IIHS are starting to comprehensively review power headlight performance. It seems the thing we Probably should have started before when automakers started filling with their own designs. But with their trademark timeliness, there's actually good news on the glare front. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has approved for the first time adaptive beam technology, which can selectively dim portions of the driving beam, blocking out small regions to reduce glare for other drivers while maintaining high illumination for you and everyone else. It's basically like if your headlights were high-resolution projectors and a camera says, ooh, there's a car over there, block out that part, but everything else stays bright. So it's like you have your high beams on all the time, other drivers don't even know it. That amazing tech has been on the European market since 2009. But it took 13 years. I mean, at least they beat their previous 17-year record for proving halogen lamps. However, while I'm definitely not about to suggest that we go back to the dark ages, adding more technology to headlights as we do it now is not without consequences. As a matter of fact, simply moving away from the sealed beam wasn't without consequences. I bought these headlight modules for a 1986 Honda Civic back when I made my video on turn signal synchronization. They're surprisingly inexpensive at $80 for a pair, but are also not a genuine Honda part. I have no idea how well these might actually perform as headlights. They are DOT compliant, but having prior experience with aftermarket replacements like these, that doesn't mean much. And you want to know why I have prior experience with aftermarket replacements like these? Because this is plastic. And you know what happens with plastic when it's exposed to ultraviolet light over the years? Bad things, that's what. My folks' old minivan started getting cloudy headlights after about a decade on the road, as many vehicles do these days. And back in the day, I embarked on a journey to replace them. I found a similarly inexpensive aftermarket pair on eBay, and after the absolute chore that was removing the car's front fascia,
I pressed the wrong button, dang it.
And buttoning it all back up, I had a much prettier looking Honda Odyssey staring back at me, but with only marginally better headlights. The new modules had a completely different beam pattern from the old ones, particularly mediocre high beams, and no matter how I adjusted their aim, just weren't that great.
Ad Astra Abyssal.
They're made of
Thank you for
glass.
completing.
That means they don't oxidize and yellow with time.
Ad Astra.
On polycarbonate headlights. Now, to be fair, there were bespoke headlights like this with glass lenses. Maybe some cars still have them today, but it's common these days. Oh, but you know another really cool feature of these? If they should break, a replacement costs less than $15. You need to hunt down a specific module for a second generation North American market Honda Odyssey. Just pop into Napa Zone and get yourself one. And I've got these in Walmart. And in case you're thinking sealed, just don't work. Honestly, they're not half bad. I've driven cars with 3 of the 4 common setups: quad rectangles, dual rectangles, and dual rounders. Frankly, to my admittedly subjective eyes, they were all better than average. As someone who spends a good deal of time on country roads looking out for deer, the throw of the high beams from either of these is superior to most modern cars I've driven. I'm not kidding you. In fact, it's arguably a bit better at lighting than
Fireworks are for now, but friends are forever. If we've got nothing else to do, why don't I tell you a story?
That even my new car, they struggle a lot on the curvy findings. Still things have a very focused spot, which is great for straightaways. Start curving even slightly, or even just crest a hill, and you'll wish for coverage. So I'd still rather have my new car's modern LED setup on balance, but it's not still. Because here's the fun thing. Replacing the entire headlight when it goes out means, well, you're getting an entirely new headlight every time it goes out. And these actively got better over time. In fact, Sylvania even makes Silver Star versions of this. Think about cars made prior to 1979. They had terrible headlights. Not even a question. But because they all had the same headlights, not instantly a different car, just back when it did. Suddenly they have headlights that were decades. And it's not just technology. Okay. Because these things are so hard. Modern models, YouTube. Definitely not with relocation either. Just these headlights swap all the 19 and headlights are. Now, okay, this would totally ruin. Why not? Again, it makes for instance, restaurants with headlights.
Oh.
With off-the-shelf indicator inside. Both legal with literally none of that trouble. Usually makes it difficult. I see we've heard of for here, but this other trouble is actually fresh. So the passenger car gets old gadgets.
Fireworks are for now, but friends are forever.
Wow. That's a long time. Almost 30 minutes.
Sure, in 2022, mandating cars all use the same lights. But actually, this wasn't. Just kidding. I have a piece of trivia.
This realm is
Times, existing entirely as an exercise. The Nissan Act is actually massive fun. One of those things over all the country. Headlights on the road instead of generally not actually. They're designed to throw more light towards the shoulder, less light towards the ground. Often on the two ways to be and as needs to be intended. But indeed, that's backwards. Most of it in Japan where they drive on the left side of the road. So it's growing more right to the left than right. And it's driving in at night really absolutely terrible. Visibility is atrocious. And I once got to a visit meters of pedestrian sidewalk. They were on the sidewalk, so it was called. And scared crap. Don't drive that parking lot. And it's not an age. As a matter of fact, cars hiding on trains more time coming out of the country like no problem seeing anything. That is, there was oncoming traffic in that place. I'm sure there's so much slowed down to 40 miles an hour. It's that bad. Are just like right. And the car is going like to the left on traffic and right slash out. So, if the car has its size, just swap it out. But unfortunately, not an option.
If you ever have it.
There isn't. It's just meant to actually they get away with so well, and they expect Anyway, I'm just telling this story so that the next time you get an itch to get one to send a JDM headlights for your car, don't do it backwards. Okay, now the winners. Sometimes they smaller.
I've been thinking about two things. The first one is the golden ratio of all of the stuff that we did in the last episode and how else it is. I have a couple of things already that I actually. The second thing that I'm thinking about is agriculture and what to do. This things because agriculture before. Down here on the opposite side of the road, I've started a couple of going to be old abandoned from the farm by the time the rest of the Euro, but no, I'm playing. Large scale farm. City. So, and I already started working on the areas where the stuff is crumbled, masonry is parts, and then I've also reinstated tunnel. I really love the fact that is I built a tunnel down here now. The other side of the frame, farming district, and this now still gets me funded. The other side of this ravine here, there is a ravine in the direction. Be careful about where I cross, because that's dangerous. Now, the sugarcane farm manual front. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not looking to undercut anybody else in the industry of active sugar. And I just want to go the manual farm now, apples ranching. What you saw me standing on the beginning of the episode is an aqueduct by itself. And have yet to detail, but I wanted to give the main shape of it. In any
You are
Happy to
not
oblige.
welcome here.
Access denied. Out of the frying pan. Absorption test. Let's dance.
Regret.
Elsewhere in the series, not just Empire, but I've been training Frogline since the early stages of the series, but I've never really established from within Empire exactly where the problem is. Yes, I have that farm and some built it in Nether, but I kind of like the deal. It's been really included Nether storyline. Doing Nether is really just a means to end it. There ain't portals or just means to get rid of Nether where it's really being possible. And for now, one of the things I really like about the idea of having a golden age right to both side into the density area is we can make what I wanted to do is that
Nice and spicy. Animo test 6308. Born of ice and frost. We're way behind Scout. Out of the frying pan. Stand clear. Absorption test. Nice and spike. Access denied.
and honestly, they also help a lot with lighting if there is a more natural appeal that needs spent. That's only one type of frogline. Out here on the agricultural side, we want to build frogline culture. And I have videos and stuff. Around here we have wine, drinks, wine, slow. And here, let's be like an apple. An apple. And maybe at that point we'll establish a shop here where the other empires trade.
Glaze over. No, come on. Focus. Hey, out of the frying pan. Come on. We can do it.
Testing my patience.
Animal hypostasis emulation. Stand clear. Animo test 6308.
We'll meet again.
Cells. And those be okay. I've spent a fair bit of time taking down all the natural locations, so I might as well do that now, but I think we can still space. I mean, also starts with a right. Each one of like having but unless practice it. And I think the only one to go with the set really see the dream. And a couple of days, several cups later, here we are looking for change. First of all, dream good. And we're in like here, all the slow best. I mean, surprising because
Yep, here comes the Dendro.
ashes! Scatter! Ah! Fire hazard! Ha!
You are not welcome.
Propagate! I'll protect us.
Where do you think you're going? Off the tongue.
Scatter!
Power that ended Haishan!
The fuse is lit!
Where do you think you're
Really, Vega?
Spring forth!
Where do you think you're
Let the show begin. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Let's end this now.
Go Bishop down! Ready, steady, go! Propagate! Scatter! I'll protect us. Fire hazard!
Eyes on me!
The fuse is lit! Propagate! Let's dance!
Oh, that was a lot of damage.
Fire hazard!
regret.
That's painful.
Having taken a quick look at the rest of the bridges,
frick. Ugh. 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 Fuck.
I feel a newfound strength within me. May it help me to be a better protector.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
I have to complete some of them tomorrow. Instead. How annoying.
Look at them! Look at them! Oh, they're so good. So I admit I may bury the lead. Because while I love the Froglet Orchard, I'm so happy with how this came together. Sadly, one of them is still a tree stump because my diamond hoe is on its last legs. I really need to go and repair this thing, and I didn't have enough time whilst I was doing all of these trees on a live stream to go and repair it, harvest some more birch leaves because I have precious few left of those, and build another tree. But in the meantime, I wanted to introduce. So a little while ago, and once again I have to credit my Twitch chat and probably a couple of people in the comment section of YouTube in creation of these. A while ago, people said, hey, wouldn't it be really funny if, because you're bringing this extinct empire back from the past, what if we had a mount that did the same thing? What if my horse was actually a dodo? And so I have brought a few of these over to the Froglight field, where they're going to be in pasture over here. They're going to be, back from the pasture, I suppose. They're going to be roaming around here, but of course I need to tame a couple to see which one is going to be my mount. Now, I did end up taming another one already, but it was a little bit slow, and I need to figure out exactly which one that was. So I'm probably going to hitch them to Fence Post for now, the loads of lead, and we will do our best to decide which is the best dodo. This one over here I have not tamed yet, and it's going to take a couple of attempts, I imagine, but it looks like it. I submit at least 10 odds, which is a decent average. I also love the fact that when these dodos rear up and sprint, they're not big like that. There we go. Alright, take a saddle on Mars. Decent speed. And I love the legs as they go. That's so nice. I love it. I love the tail of the dodo doesn't have stick back. Oh, I love the little things going in front. That's so sweet. And then it looks like see it. Honestly, I don't have a real way to test speed. And the reversing speed is much intense. forward to me. It's faster than the one that I tried earlier. In the chest, nice and behold. Sure. Well, did we go on to yeah, Eddie's not even like jump. I reckon probably about 3.5 blocks length. You know what, I'm almost considering this dodo as my official mount. I have a couple of others in here to test those. This one right here is one I've already made. So we can saddle this one, saddle the sofa. Well, I love it, it's like a little place. Anyway, as you can see, this one has a little quick stop. Jump up from what I remember, still got it. Well, parts worth of health is a substantial dodo. So I'm going to have to maybe keep down the other end here. And then this one right now is on. This one is faster. Let's give these others a try. Obviously, this one's 13 hearts. How fast this could be. I'm not all that keen on letting it try, but I wonder what speed is like here. Oh, this isn't terrible. It's not bad. And I feel like a jump is a bad aspect. Oh, yeah, we can't quite get up into the tree. So maybe a 2.5 block jump. Yeah. So much help. 13 hearts is good. Oh, this is something else I should know. There is a bit of a pitch going on right here where some of them
Take it easy.
run on the dodo they acted on. They snap their feet in line with running out. The animation like big. I sort of want to keep that as a thing. It doesn't like they're doing a snap belt. Birds do when they get birds on the soil. I don't like that. That is still. So far it's really this one is not as hard as any of the other let's see if slow, actually slow as well, and then we're about to jump. Stick. Oh, I can't even get up. Oh, sorry. Big, fighting you, attach you to a fence. Yeah, and left. Not gonna be a crowd. We need a race. Our last candidate is over here. Let's see if we can fix it. It is any. Not in off. Let's help the dodo and with a saddle on.
Time for a light show!
Well, this one has 13 off, and it's pretty hardy, fast, race. I prefer the all-round and it's pretty fun. Still don't have to let it go. It's still has a family of those. Very good job. I think you should run and look for. And I really like it. We're going to have some variants.
Up and away!
And it's as we develop the future, we are going to have a and I think this one is going to be our main choice. This one is going to be our personal transformation, if you feel like. And so it is with great honor that I bestow upon you the name Interesting. I just like the name for a dodo. It feels like a stuffy old man name. I just don't like that. But this Thank you so much for watching this episode of Empire TV from Lake Park. And in photos and just yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is subscribe. Yeah.
Up and away.
Why? That was super boring. Woo! Fuck. How much longer are you gonna stay? Fuck.